Sound na, Doc? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We continue with the visual diagnosis sa body shape and posture, abundant in yang. Okay? Sa body shape of a person is determined by the prenatal constitution and the subsequent postnatal nourishment. For this reason, the body shape of a person can give us an indication of both of the constitutional tendency to a certain pathology and of an actual pathology resulting from postnatal influences. So, for example, a thin body indicates a yin deficiency, which is the prenatal constitution. But if that person has developed excess fat around the waist, then we can gauge a pathology deriving from the postnatal influences. So, galing sa pagka-thin, then nag-develop ng excess fat sa may waist. So, yan po is postnatal influences. So, ito po yung from prenatal and postnatal influences, lumaki po siya sa may parting waist. Okay? Observation of the body, including size, height, tone of skin and muscles, length of bones, etc., as well as of demeanour and personality, is important to assess the constitution of a patient. Sa chapter 21 of the simple question says, in diagnosing diseases, one should observe whether the patient is extrovert or timid and observe the state of the bones, muscles, and skin in order to understand the condition so that we can diagnose and treat. Sa classification of body shape according to yin and yang, the possible body shapes according sa yin and yang, it could be body shape abundant in yang, next body shape abundant in yin, and body shape deficient in yang, and body shape deficient in yin, or body shape with yin and yang in balance. Sa chapter 31 of volume 4 of the Classic of Categories summarizes the characteristics of people with a constitutional excess of yin, people with a constitutional excess of yang, and people with a balance of yin and yang. People gifted with pure yin are known as the greater yin type. Those with a mixture of yin and yang but more yin than yang are known as the lesser yin type. So lesser yin type, ito pong tao. Those with pure yang are known as the greater yang type. So mas naman sa yang. Those with a mixture of yin and yang are more yang than yin are known as lesser yang type. Together with the type of people with equal yang and yin, this constitute the 5 different types of people. Therefore, for people with abundant yang constitution, it is advisable to use cooling methods of treatment. For people with abundant yin constitution, it is advisable to use warming method of treatment. So, pag-observe natin na ang patient is abundant yang constitution, mas kailangan natin yung cooling methods for treatment, while ang pag-abundant naman sa yin constitution, so we use the warming method of treatment. Okay? Sa body shape and abundant in yang, the body shape, demeanour, and personality of a person with abundant yang are as follows: strong body build, tendency to a red face, preference for cold, intolerance of heat, preference for light clothes, lively character, active and talkative nature, loud voice, tendency to laugh, tendency to being a high achiever, decisiveness, assertiveness, walking with the chest and stomach projecting forward. So, abundant yang po yan. So, ito po yung illustration sa abundant in yang. Sa clinical significance, the above-mentioned features indicate abundant yang, which could be of the greater yang or lesser yang type, as described in the quotations below. It is important to stress that such a body shape indicates only a constitutional tendency to excess of yang and not necessarily an actual pattern of yang excess. In pathological condition, a person with an abundant yang constitution will have a tendency to excess of yang, pwedeng merong heat or fire. So in treatment, emphasis should be put in reducing yang and nourishing yin. So yan po yung gagawin natin pag tendency to excess yang sa treatment. Kailangan natin yung i-reduce yung yang and i-nourish yung yin. Quotations from the classics, chapter 72 of the spiritual axis, which says, a greater yang type of person looks arrogant with the chest and stomach projected forward as if the body was bending backward. This is the picture of a greater yang type of person. Sa lesser yang type naman of a person holds the head while high while standing and shakes the body while walking. The two hands are often held behind the body with the arms and elbows exposed on the sides of the body. So this is the picture of a lesser yang type person. So pag na-observe natin sa lesser yang type person, yung head high while standing, nag-shake ang body while walking. So yan po yung makikita natin. Sa chapter 72 of the spiritual axis, sabi, a greater yang type of a person has excess of yang and deficiency of yin, and it is necessary to examine them with a greater care and treat them so that the yin is not reduced to the point of collapse. The yang must be reduced but not excessively to the point of collapse, lest the patient develops madness. So, kailangan i-reduce natin yung yang pero hindi naman dapat sobra. Sa chapter 67 of the spiritual axis, which says a person with abundant yang is emotional and as warm as fire. He talks fast and swollen with arrogance. It is because the heart and lung chi of such a person are abundant. Okay? So, yang chi is therefore plentiful and flows freely and vigorously. For this reason, it is easy to stimulate his spirit and the chi arrives quickly when the acupuncture is given. Okay? So, abundant po yung yang and emotional and as warm as fire. So, tandaan po natin, ito is heart and lung chi. Abundant po dito sa ating patient na ito. Sa Golden Mirror of Medicine, Ying Song Jing Yan points out in the chapter keys to the 4 diagnostic methods. People with abundant yang hold their head high while standing because it is in the nature of yang to rise. So, mataas po yung ulo and ito po yung nature ng yang na tumataas. They shake their body while walking because it is the nature of yang to move. So, sinishake nilang katawan. They often hold their hands behind the body with the arms and elbows by the sides of the body as it is in the nature of yang to be exposed. So, nasa side yung kamay and behind. This is the picture of the personality of the lesser yang type of people. The Golden Mirror of Medicine says the 6 external pathogenic factors attack people in the same way, but diseases caused by them will have a different manifestation in different people. So, pare-parehas po yung exposure, pero yung effect sa pagkakaiba-iba ng condition ng tao would be different. So, sabi niya, why daw? The reason is that the person's body can be either strong or weak. So it could be because of weakness or strength ng body. So the chi can be full or deficient, and the internal organs can be of cold or hot. So after the external pathogenic factors invade the body, they will transform according to the condition of the internal organs. So pare-parehas ang pumapasok na external pathogenic factor, pero yung condition ng body could be different because it could be either hot or cold or excess deficient ang condition ng katawan. Therefore, the syndromes magkakaiba-iba. They can transform into different or excessive conditions and into cold or hot conditions. This last quotation highlights an important principle of Chinese medicine. The pathogenic factors tend to develop in their pathology according to the pre-existing constitution of the person. For example, if a person who is constitutionally abundant in yang suffers an invasion of external wind, this will develop into wind heat. While if a person who is constitutionally abundant in yin suffers the same invasion, so magkaparehas lang na invasion, pero abundant siya ng yin, the external wind will manifest as wind cold. So pag yang, ang abundant, may wind heat. Pero pag abundant ng yin, mag-develop siya ng wind cold. With the same external pathogenic factor, magkakaiba po yung effect. Okay? So thank you for your attention.